Hello everyone and welcome back to another TSW2 video. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the Sherman Hill Route that just released today. Also, happy Thanksgiving to all of you who are watching this on the 25th of November. But let's get started on this route. I'm not a big fan of freight or anything, but we're going to see how this is. I've only driven one freight train, the AC 4400 CW on, I believe it was Sam Patch grade, and I've driven some of the GP38s on the old NEC route. But other than that, I have basically no freight experience, so we're going to see how this goes, you know. I'm not really a big fan of the big diesel American freight locomotives, you know. I'm more of a fan of the electric locomotives that DB uses for freight, or MRCE over there in Germany. But we're going to see how this goes. We're going to see if the tutorials are enough to actually get me going with these freight locomotives. But yeah, before we fully get started, I'm going to ask all of you to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you would like to support me even further, consider becoming a channel member with the link in the description below. Let's start. So, welcome to Sherman Hill. Wow, these logos are really
Welcome
loud.
to Train Sim World 2, an immersive and highly detailed rail simulation featuring authentic routes and trains from around the world. You've just been awarded some action points. These are displayed in the top right corner of the screen and count towards your overall experience. It is necessary to be fully observant of the surrounding world. Practice by looking up, down, left, and right. Besides operating trains, there are lots of requirements to navigate on foot. Try moving around now.
You know, one of the things I kind of hate about every time I start a new route is you have to go through these introductions, which is basically, it just reverts all of your settings. It's annoying. What's this?
This is one of many interactives to be discovered, but not all of them will be as easy to find as this one.
Do not walk or play on tracks. Well, if somebody was playing on the tracks, might need to get them some mental help. Let's see. Let's get in the cab. Ooh, much quieter. It reminds me a lot of the AC 4400. Oh, interesting. So you can't open the windows just a certain amount. I don't really like that. Cab lights. Nice. Cab is well detailed. Got a big speedometer over here. Let's sit down.
You can pause the experience at any point and review previous and current objectives. Check it out now, then return to the game when ready.
Alright, we gotta pause like always. While we're in here, well, actually, I think it'd be smarter to change the settings back after the tutorials are
A
done.
heads-up display has appeared on the right side of the screen. This is a guide to what the train is doing. This is the speed display. The white needle shows current speed. The red marker indicates the maximum permitted speed. This is the direction display. An arrow will indicate forward, reverse, and neutral directions. This is the power display. A number will indicate what position the power control is in. These are brake indicators. They show the state of the various brake systems, allowing independent management of them.
You know, I'd love if there was an option to turn off the route introductions and just go straight into the tutorials for the trains.
In the top right are the signal and speed limit displays. These feature an indication of what is approaching and a countdown distance to when they will come into effect. Some of these displays can be hidden via the settings menu for a more challenging experience.
Alright, let's get moving. Alright, seems easy enough to get the train moving. I think the bell is down here.
The Laramie subdivision runs for 60 miles between Cheyenne and Laramie, Wyoming, and delivers heavy freight over the 2,000-foot climb to the summit of Sherman Hill. This locomotive is an EMD SD70 ACE diesel locomotive and is rated at 4,300 horsepower.
SD70 ACE.
Train Sim World 2 allows you to ride and drive from a selection of camera views. Let's take a look now while exploring this train.
Yeah, the train looks really well detailed. Always liked the way they modeled the American freight locomotives. You know, I'm not a big fan of them in general, but they did model them pretty well.
You've only explored a small area here, so let's take a look at what else there is to enjoy. Welcome to Sherman Hill, Wyoming. Here you can experience challenging grades, heavy freight, and iconic motive power in the heart of Union Pacific territory. Along the way, be sure to uncover fossils, repair broken snow fences, install safety signs, and put up jackalope warnings. Conquer the Continental Divide and keep America thriving. Welcome to Train Sim World 2, Sherman Hill, Cheyenne to Laramie.
The route tasks on this route look very interesting. They're unique compared to some of the other route tasks we've seen for other routes in the game, like London Commuter, and some of the others. But that was the introduction. Gonna load up the tutorials now, and I'll see all of you back here when it's fully loaded. And I assume this is the tutorial now.
Welcome to driver training. Today you'll be taken through the operation of this SD70 ACE in Union Pacific livery. During this brief introduction, we will go through the startup of the locomotive and freight operations. When you're ready, climb aboard to get started.
Yeah, the loco looks really, really well detailed. I like the amount of time and effort they put into some of these American freight locomotives. Let's just change some of these settings real quick. Turn off that. Back up to large, and then turn off motion blur. Get some more cab sway. There we go. Kind of hate how it doesn't save your settings from the last time you played. But let's hop into the cab and finally learn how to really operate this unit.
Take a seat in the engineer's seat. This is where you'll be spending most of your time.
Wonder, are we able to adjust it? Like, raise the height of it? I've always checked the bottom of these seats in the trains to see if you can adjust, like, the seat height or whatever.
Firstly, we'll need to start the engine.
I've wanted to do that on trains like the 465.
In order to start the engine, the isolation switch will need to be set to start.
Alright, let's take a look at this. Start, stop, isolate, inspect.
The control and fuel pump button allows control of the fuel pumps from this cab for all connected locomotives.
Fuel pump on.
Press and hold the engine start button.
Engine start.
Now we can set the isolation switch to run.
Back to run.
The generator field, engine run, and control and fuel pump buttons will need to be activated in the lead locomotive.
So, it's start, stop, isolate, then fuel pump, then hold the engine start button, switch that to run, then set the generator field on. Engine run.
The engine run button allows control of all of the diesel engines in the consist from this cab.
And then a reverser. It's a lot of steps.
We will now need to configure the brakes for the type of operations that we will be performing.
It reminds me of setting up the F40PH on Boston Sprinter. Jeez. cut in. I wonder if we have to do this every time we start up the loco. Operator controls, okay. I assume that's F4. And then air brakes to lead. And cutting. Very complicated.
The engine is now running, and we can depart.
At least we got it set up.
Set the switch as indicated.
I want to set the brightness up. I wonder if we could do it on this screen as well, because I could barely see what's on this screen. There we go. Much better. Alright, we're 140 feet long. Oh. This must be one of the newer types of trains. With the digital screens and all of that. Very cool. Alright, climb down and use the lever to set the switch to the correct track. Or, you know, we could just always do a bit of that. Set the automatic brake to release.
We'll need to set the lights for correct operation.
Headlights.
The reverser determines the direction of travel.
And now let's get moving. There we go. So it seems like we got a couple to some tankers. It's very interesting to... Whoa, this train takes off. I'm not used to American freight locomotives, you know, taking off that quickly. I already know I'm gonna have trouble learning how to brake this train. Is that the dynamic brake? Okay, that's the dynamic brake. That's the throttle. So which one is this? Is this the independent? What am I moving? Okay, that's the independent brake. Alright, that's the automatic. There we go. Now, for those of you who actually know how to operate some American freight locomotives, y'all probably looking at this video right now thinking I'm a complete idiot driving this train, but it's a learning experience, okay? I'm trying to get into a little bit more freight operations in the game. I've been trying to operate some MRCE services on Hamburg to Lübeck. They're pretty interesting. But it's a learning experience, you know. And besides, it's probably funny if you know what you're doing and you're watching me not know how to operate this train. Open the window, get a little bit more in that track noise. Ah, look at the bogies turning. I already know we're gonna have some trouble braking up here. I don't want to come into this coupling procedure too quickly. There was a time where I had to couple to a train and I came in at 20 miles per hour. It was not a good day. Alright, let's release the brakes. You know, it's better to be safe than sorry. Because I know how difficult it is to, you know, slow down these big locomotives. Let's try and slowly bring it in. The sounds remind me a lot of a Class 66. I remember Matt on one of the streams, the Sherman Hill, the first stream. I remember him mentioning that they kind of took the idle sound of a Class 66 and applied it here just with a couple of changes. And it definitely sounds like one.
Let's shut down this cab and head to the one in the lead unit.
Okay, automatic handle to handle off. 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 Yeah, it really does sound like a Class 66. Okay, so operator controls, and then air brake to trail. Did I do that right? I hope I did that right. Put that into neutral. Take the reverser. Alright.
Climb down and make your way to the lead loco.
It's pretty cool. It's very complicated. It's much different from some of the other routes we have in the game, you know. Passenger routes is so much different than these freight routes. Getting the train set up and stuff. I assume we gotta do the same procedure to set it up.
Now we will need to set up this loco for operation.
Yep. Let's just get the brightness up first. Slowly try and find F1. There we go. Alright. Engine run. Generate field. Fuel pump. Ooh, banking comm. Wonder what that's for. Get those headlights on. Interesting. You got fuses behind fuses. Wow.
Set the switch as indicated.
Okay, let's set the switch. Make sure everything is good.
The reverser determines the direction of travel.
Okay, let's get moving again. Hopefully we did everything correctly. And the next stop, well, our destination is Cheyenne Yard. Let's try and get this thing moving. Yeah, there we go. Sorry if I'm being unusually quiet during this video, but I'm really trying to learn this locomotive so I don't make any stupid mistakes or anything. You know, minus the scenery, being in this desert area, it reminds me a lot of operating freight services on the original NEC route. NEC New York and TS1, or Train Sim World 2020. It reminds me a lot of that. I'd love to see them bring back that route, you know. Possibly push it a little further out to all the way up to New Haven. Include a little bit of the Metro North services. I think that'd be a cool route. Maybe with the Acela as well. That'd be cool. But the logo looks really nice. Got a new horn. Slow down a bit. Okay, let's focus on stopping this train now. I'm not sure which brake we're supposed to use for stopping. I assume it's the automatic brake, so I'm gonna just keep it on the automatic brake. A little bit of what I've grasped from like just watching people drive American locomotives and stuff, I assume the dynamic brake is like for trying to maintain your speed when coming down a hill. I'm not sure what the independent brake is for. Hopefully some of you in the comment section can explain to me what the different brake systems are for, how to use them and all of that, if you're experienced with American freight. But this is all pretty new to me. And I know you can't really just take your knowledge from electric trains and passenger locomotives and stuff and apply it to these freight locomotives. It's much different. I remember seeing Matt Spad on the first Sherman Hill stream. It was hilarious. It's kind of what's like making me slow down and creep up to this stop marker right here. You know, I don't want to make any mistakes or whatever because I see how difficult it is to stop one of these things. The brakes kick in kind of slowly. I think that's because they need to kick in on each individual car or whatever. So like the longer you keep the brakes applied, the more power I guess the brakes will have. I guess that's how it works. Good stopping point.
Great work. That concludes the basics of operating this locomotive.
We did it. You know, in a scenario planner or delivery designer, I might go back and like add a new design to these tankers, make them look a bit more, instead of looking so generic, you know, add a little bit of weathering to them, maybe a custom livery. I did that for some of the German tankers. Kind of want to do it for the American ones as well. Hill Start Training Module. Interesting. We might as well just run all of the training modules at this point. You know, I'm definitely going to need them because I plan to make multiple videos on this route. And I don't want to look stupid in each one of them. So let's just run all of these training modules. I'll be back when it finally loads. Okay, we're loading onto the Hill Start Training module. Oh, we're already in the train.
Welcome to driver training. Today you'll be learning how to perform hill starts and also switch to dynamic brakes when descending.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is definitely
You will need to configure the lead locomotive each time you take over.
Oh, you need to configure it. Okay. So at this point, I kind of remember how to set it up. Engine run, generator fuel pump, forward. Then this, I believe, operator controls after we click this. And then lead. And then lead cut in.
To stop the formation rolling backwards, we will need to apply the throttle while the brakes are still applied.
First, let me put up this brightness because it's way too dark. This one too. I want to see the time and the date. Oh, full application. Okay, so that's what the independent brake is for. Oh, so when we release the automatic brake, the independent brake is going to stop us.
The wheels will slip. Now, slowly release the brake.
I think I'm taking slowly a bit too seriously. There we go. I see us rolling forward a bit.
If you are struggling for grip, apply sand to increase traction.
Oh, so that's why it's taking so long to get started. Jesus. We've been holding this sander for a while now. It really does take a lot to get one of these moving. Jeez. Now, see, operating one of these big locomotives is no joke. Having a bit of wheel slip there. This is not good. Alright, let's put up the independent brake again. Let's try this one more time. Okay. 3. Sander. Now, slowly release the independent brake. Oh, we're getting moving. There we go. There we go. I think we were supposed to, like, really slowly release the brakes. Alright, this is enjoyable. It takes a lot more to operate these units. It's more involving, more engaging. You know, you're messing with a lot more of the controls in the cab instead of just operating one of them electric passenger trains or whatever. You know, it's very interesting. Well, now that we're moving, should be good for now. Hopefully. So I noticed with this release, DTG isn't doing any more midnight releases, which did kind of catch me off guard last night. I was up at midnight and I tried to buy the route, and it wasn't on the PlayStation Store. I went over to the forums and I was checking a whole bunch of threads and all that, seeing like if it was supposed to be that way or whatever. And apparently they're not doing any more midnight releases according to one of their announcements on the forums. And I don't really have too much of an issue with that. I just feel like it could have been said a little bit better, you know. It could have been out there a little more, you know. Like, they could have announced it better, you know, instead of just putting it in a regular thread on the forums, you know. I feel like maybe in a roadmap stream would have been nice. Whoa, okay, some AI traffic. Got some one containers as well. Ocean Network Express, I believe that is. Pretty cool. Nice. Can't wait to get my hands on the livery designer with these boxcars and stuff. Oh, I'm gonna have fun with these trains. But yeah, I think it could have been announced better, but I don't really have too much of an issue with no more midnight releases, you know. Honestly, it gives me more time to sleep before a route's release. Because I used to be up middle of the night trying to download it off the PlayStation Store. I am slowly becoming a little bit more excited for the Dresden Chesnitz or Chesmits, whatever the route is. I'm not sure how to pronounce Chesnitz or Chesmit, whatever the other destination is on that route. I am slowly becoming a little more excited for that. Just finally getting a tilting train in TSW and another German diesel. I think that's gonna be pretty fun. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get it. I have to see the route first, of course. But I'm very interested, and I've loved to see like what AI service is, what layers are on it. And talking about layers and stuff, I'm thinking of purchasing MysticZeenoz and MysticZeenoz so I could get some layers on other types of routes in the game. Like not Munich to Augsburg, but what's it called? Rhine-Ruhr Austin, I believe it is.
You have reached the summit of Sherman Hill.
And oh, that's cool. We've reached the summit.
As we start our descent,
Oh.
we'll need to switch to dynamic brakes to control our speed.
Okay.
Dynamic brakes allow the locomotives to control their speed while going downhill without causing excessive wear.
So just use the dynamic brakes. Okay, that should be easy enough. But yeah, I'm just thinking of getting MysticZeenoz and MysticZeenoz and stuff, just so I could see some layers on other routes like Rhine-Ruhr Austin, Hauptstadt Rhine-Ruhr, because Hauptstadt Rhine-Ruhr feels a little bit too empty for me. Let's see what else. I think Clone Aachen get some layers with this, so I'm thinking that'd be pretty interesting. Pretty interesting thing to purchase. But yeah, I'm definitely interested, getting a little bit more interested in Dresden Chesnitz. Some of you may be wondering, about what's going on with me covering TSW news and stuff, and just there hasn't been too much, big news to cover with TSW, and I'm kind of done just covering little roadmap stuff or whatever. It just doesn't feel as interesting as before. So I am moving away from all of the TSW news stuff, and as you may have noticed, I've been focusing a lot more on my Mystic Transit channel, just talking about the new rail news in the New York City area is pretty fun, to learn about that and to have to, really invest my time into, figuring out what's going on in my hometown in terms of rail, and then sharing that with everybody who wants to know about it. And plus, I'm doing bigger videos on that channel too. Sneak peek towards tomorrow video, I'm going to be talking about the 2nd Avenue subway, the T train, the Q train, and all that stuff. I'm going to be talking about maybe some of the issues with it, some of the issues I have with it. Alright, let's actually get the train stopped now. Oh, so the train is that long. Oh. Well, okay then.
Well done. That concludes today's training.
That was pretty fun. It's interesting learning how to stop the train on the hill, I'm definitely gonna have fun, like, taking it on some services and stuff. But I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to do that today or whatever. I have a lot of other stuff that I gotta get recording. Talking about recording, I'm definitely getting started on that Thief Circle Line suggestion. Gonna be recording that really soon. Remember, I was talking about the LIRR route unfinished add-ons video. That's coming very soon. Everything is already finished. All I have to do is just edit it, record it. That's it. But yeah, that was pretty cool. Let's go back to the main menu. Let's see about the SD40-2, and then just gonna call it a day with this video. I'm definitely having a bit of fun operating these freight locomotives. I see why a lot of people have been asking for more freight routes and stuff, and I'm not saying that I'm gonna start asking for freight routes and making a whole bunch of freight suggestions and stuff, but I do understand, I'm starting to understand why people like it so much. It's definitely interesting. But let's go back into the journey thing over the hill. We don't really need to do the SD40 thing yet. But that should be good for now. What's the intermodal? Just want to check out what the intermodals are first. Ooh. SD70 ACE. The sound really does remind me a lot of the what's it called? What's it called? The Class 66. Take over this Continental Intermodal train from Cheyenne to Hermosa. Oh, it's talking about. I get it. The type of freight you'll be hauling. I get it. But that was very interesting. Definitely expect more Sherman Hill videos within the next week or however long. You know, I'm definitely interested in this route. And I'll be checking out what can be done with the livery designer with some of the new trains and box cars and all of that stuff that was added with this. But definitely, if you enjoyed this, hit the like button. If you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and consider becoming a channel member with the link in the description below. I'll catch all of you in the next video. Peace.